another one bites the dust. Thank you, Mr Speaker.
Tim Vanderbank.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I would like to add my thanks to those of the Honourable Simon Bridges, to all the staff that make this place tick. Your work is absolutely appreciated. And also, further to Barbara Kuriga's comments with regards to those in the emergency services. Your great work and sacrifice is absolutely wonderful. Thank you for what you do. Now, in the spirit of the season, Mr Speaker, I decided to come up with a festive acrostic poem for the House this afternoon based on the word Christmas. So we have C for the cost of living under this government. It has risen rapidly over the last year. We've seen rents rise $30 on average across the country. We've seen the price of petrol going through the roof. Electricity prices have lifted as well, to the point where there are significantly less Christmas lights on display this year than there have been in the past, much to my disappointment as I drove around the area last week looking for Christmas festivity. H is for housing, and the Kiwi Bull shambles that we've got in front of us at the moment. 33 houses after 1 year. 33, is that all this government can produce? But I suppose if we look at the demand we're seeing in the ballot, it's probably in line with the supply, so no surprises there. Actually, in my electorate, we have the town of Te Kaupata, and we have the dubious pleasure now of having Kiwi Bull coming to town. I note that they've recently changed the threshold for Home Start grants to enable people to compete on the open market, where all of those houses are trending to end up at this rate. R for the roads of national significance that have been scrapped under this government. A disgraceful change, scrapping all these projects that were bringing significant safety, social and economic benefit to regions around the country. Just last week I had to write to NZTA requesting an update on safety plans after another crash at an incident on a state highway in my area, an intersection that would have been bypassed by one of these RONs. I is for illicit drugs. Well, we know what the government's doing in this space. Medical marijuana for Christmas, everybody. Fill your boots. It's going to be legal to smoke loose leaf, but it's not legal to grow it or legal to sell it. But let's not get hung up on those details. S is for the Santa-sized surplus saving their bacon. Thanks to strong economic management from the last government, they're spending it on the regional slush fund, they're spending it on free fees, but funnily, they can't find money for the teachers. Won't somebody think of the teachers? T is for the trees. How many trees? Well, we know there's 400,000 less than there might have been. They've all been mulched up in Northland. 10 million trees is all they've managed to plant over and above the normal plantings. That's probably not any more than the number of Christmas trees we're seeing on display around New Zealand at the moment. M is for the Migration Compact with the UN, and we've just seen that signed today. This brings serious concerns to the sovereignty of New Zealand and our ability to set our own immigration settings, and we should absolutely not be ceding that to a foreign power. A is for an amateur government. We're seeing working groups up the wazoo. We're seeing a disjointed, secretive and dysfunctional government on that side of the House. And finally, S is for what that government should be saying to New Zealanders. Sorry, we haven't got it right. Sorry, we've let you down. Their school report would probably say something like, tries hard but lacks ability. Mr McAnulty, you've seen those before. And actually my daughter would be delighted to hear that I spoke to Santa last night and he shared with me who was on his naughty list this year and who was on his nice list. So I can assure you, Mr Speaker, the government this year, members on that side, will be getting in their Santa sacks lumps of imported Indonesian coal for Christmas. Still, I would like to finish on a few positives, and it's important to note that the economy is still tracking pretty well, largely, as the opposition would say, due to 9 long years of strong, sound, stable financial management by the previous national government. And I'd like to acknowledge the strong work of the opposition, and members of the public can have confidence in the work being done on this side of the House. And I would also like to acknowledge my colleagues. Thank you for your fantastic contribution this year. It's been a privilege and an honour to be a part of the National Caucus. I'd like to finish by wishing everyone in this House a Merry Christmas, to members opposite as well, to all the staff, to the fine constituents of the Waikato and to all of New Zealand. Have a safe summer. See you next year.
Mr Speaker.
The Honourable Ruth Dyson.
There was about as much of substance in that member's